Now we will continue with our if statements or our conditional statements, and we will try to create compound conditional statements. So the way to do that is we can use the connectors and, or, and not, but it also depends on the idea that you want to present or the concept that you want to present in the condition. And so let's say that we want to see if two numbers are larger than 50. If two numbers are larger than 50, then we will consider that the student has passed. If two numbers are not larger than 50, then we will consider that the student has not passed. And so we can do that by saying if x is larger than 50, and we can use this sign for and, or we can use the word and. Okay, so this is an if statement. Okay, prior to this, let's first give the values for x and y. So we'll say, for example, x equals 40, and we'll say y equals 60. And then we will say if x is larger than y, x is larger than 50, and y is larger than 50, then we will print you passed, and then we will write else. Print you didn't pass. So the answer is you didn't pass because not both of them are larger than 50. Now we're going to do another if statement, which is an or statement. And so we will present the same statement, but in this case we're going to use, instead of and, we will use the keyword or. Okay, and the same thing. So the answer is you passed because one of them is larger than 50. So now I will present another concept. And so if we look here, we are at if statements or conditional statements. And the next concept that we are going to look at are lists, sets, and arrays. So we will first start with creating a set. So I will say cart equals, and I will open a curly bracket, and a curly bracket indicates a set. And I'll put some stuff in it, like orange and Oreo. Okay, so now I have these in my set. Okay, and I called it cart. Now I can ask questions about it. So I'm gonna say things like if apple in cart, or orange in cart, then print you get a 5% discount. Okay. Else, okay, let's do that again. Else, print no discounts available. Okay. So let's go back here and look at what we did. So what we have right now is a variable called cart. So we can name this anything we want. And we had it equal to, we opened a bracket and closed a bracket. And then we used the commas to determine the different elements in the set. So we can now ask questions about our set to see if a specific element is in the set or not by using the keyword in. So if you see here, when our conditional statement, we said if something in cart, which is, this is the cart. And so we use the keyword in. And then we also used the keyword or, which allows us to also create a conditional statement. So what does and or mean in this case? So as you can see here, we have the keyword and here, and we also have the keyword or here. So the difference between them is that for and to move on into this scope, not to the else scope, both of the conditions need to be true for it to go into the if scope. Now, if both of them are not true, which means that this one is not true, or this one is not true, or both are not true, it will go into the else statement. Now, for the or, the concept would be that if any of them are true, it will go into that scope. Now, if both of them are false, it will go into the else statement. And so that's the difference in concept. So depending on what you want to do with the if statement, you will have the choice of using and or. Again, with the use of sets, when do I use a set? I use a set when I have a number of elements that have a certain relationship with one another, and where order does not matter. And also where repetition does not matter. So in the term of the concept of sets, it is the same concept as sets in general in computer math. And so now we're going to move on into creating an array. So let's say that I'm going to create an array and call the array fruits equals and I'm going to say apple, and then orange, and then strawberry. So now here we have an array, and notice that the array or the list is, there's a slight difference in the type of bracket that we use. However, most operations for these two are very similar. So we can use